Letting go is much easier than you think. Holding on is much tougher than you think. If you treat an individual as he is, he will remain how he is. But if you treat him as if he were what he ought to be and could be, he will become what he ought to be and could be. He who dares not offend cannot be honest. People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Regretting won't change your past, and it will end up your future if you continue to do that. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than the ones you did. Your life becomes meaningful in precise proportion to the depths of the responsibility you are willing to shoulder. Hope itself is like a star not to be seen in the sunshine of prosperity and only to be discovered in the night of adversity. You don't really know the person you're with until you move in together. If you own something you cannot give away, then you don't own it, it owns you. Adventures are never fun while you're having them. Life is brutal and will break your heart, and you just have to be brave and do the best you can. Don't pretend to be better than you are. Life did not intend to make us perfect. Whoever is perfect belongs in a museum. The trouble is you think you have time. Reputation is what other people know about you. Honor is what you know about yourself. Never overlook contempt. When someone views you with contempt and talks to you like you're beneath them, they will likely do you harm, whether relationally, socially, or physically. Remove that person from your life. In any given moment, we have two options: to step forward into growth or step back into safety. You can waste your lives drawing lines, or you could live your life crossing them. You cannot be lonely if you like the person you're alone with. If you can find paths without any obstacles, it probably leads nowhere. Those who aim at great deeds must also suffer greatly. A man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. Absorb what is useful, discard what is useless, and add what is specifically your own. When we lose one blessing, another is often most unexpectedly given in its place. A salary is the drug they give you to forget your dreams. Don't raise your voice, improve your argument. There is no elevator to success, you have to take the stairs. Be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is what you really are Your reputation is merely what others think you are. A good laugh and a long sleep are the two best cures for anything. Whether it's a machine, a house, or a relationship, maintenance is always cheaper than repairing. The most important thing is to look ahead. The people who mind don't matter, and the people who matter don't mind. You can either be a negative or positive person in life, but only one will get you somewhere. The things you do for yourself are gone when you are gone, but the things you do for others remain as your legacy. Cherish those who seek the truth, but beware of those who find. You will be alone in the most difficult times of your life. These times will make you wise, mature, and fearless. Don't call it a problem, instead call it a challenge. Love is an irresistible desire to be irresistibly desired. Always do what you are afraid to do. The more distant you are, the more you can see the whole picture. There is a healthy amount of distrust to have in everyone. Nobody's intentions are truly clear, even after being stated. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it is a quiet voice at the end of the day saying, "I will try again tomorrow." If someone says something and then says, "I'm joking," he or she is always serious about that said thing. Healing doesn't mean the damage never existed. It means that damage no longer controls your life. We cannot simply sit and stare at our wounds forever. We must stand up and move on to the next action. Once you hurt someone, they're not likely to forget. They will always remember how much you've hurt them. Words are like keys. If you choose them right, they can open any heart and shut any mouth. The things you do for yourself are gone when you are gone, but the things you do for others remain as your legacy. Keep your fears to yourself, but share your courage with others. It's your road and yours alone. Life can only be understood backward, but it must be lived forwards. Someone once told me the meaning of hell. On your last day on the earth, the person you became will meet the person you could have become. Focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot. The most spiritual people experience by far the most painful tragedies, but this is precisely why they honor life, because it provides them with their greatest adversities. You can clutch the past so tightly to your chest that it leaves your arms too full to embrace the present. No job is beneath one's dignity. What we think, we become. Start by doing what's necessary and do what's possible. Then suddenly you are doing the impossible. Beneath the struggle is courage. The bee doesn't waste its time trying to convince the fly that honey is better than nothing. Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power. If you have more than 3 priorities, you have none. From love arises hatred of those things which are contrary to what we love or which oppose and thwart us in those things that we delight in. We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are. You have within you right now everything you need to deal with whatever the world can throw at you. Don't cling to yesterday. It was beautiful, but it was yesterday. Choose your pain, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The more seriously you take yourself, the unhappier you're going to be. Kind words don't cost much, yet they accomplish much. The good life is one inspired by love and guided by knowledge. Your education is never complete. The reason you want to be better than someone else is the reason why you aren't. Challenge and adversity are meant to help you know who you are. Your mind gives up a lot faster than your body. If you're going to apologize, don't say but after. Either you mean it or you don't. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. The function of leadership is to produce more leaders, not more followers. Accept that things happen. It may not be for a reason, and you may have no control over it. But the first step to getting through it is accepting what it is. You will find that they haven't half the strength you think they have. At some point, you just got to forgive the past. Your happiness hinges on it. Stop allowing your mind to be a slave, to be jerked about by selfish impulses, to kick against fate and the present, and to mistrust the future. The virtuous man contents himself with dreaming that which the wicked man does in actual life. There's only one thing more precious than our time, and that's who we spend it on. Knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in a fruit salad. Just because you hate this chapter doesn't mean you'll hate the book. Be silent, or let thy words be worth more than silence. Speak with caution. Even if someone forgives harsh words you've spoken, they may be too hurt to ever forget them. If it can't be fixed, why are you complaining? Sometimes when something tragic or heartbreaking happens, you never truly get over it or move on. You just learn to live with it. Sometimes a hypocrite is nothing more than a man in the process of changing. Feelings are not facts. You don't have to have it all figured out to move forward. Perseverance is not a long race. It is many short races, one after the other. It's not the load that breaks you down, it's the way you carry it. The longer we dwell on our misfortunes, the greater is their power to harm us. Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. Try to get what you love, otherwise you'll have to love what you got. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it is a quiet voice at the end of the day saying, "I will try again tomorrow." Courage doesn't mean you don't get afraid. Courage means you don't let fear stop you. Respond to critiques with accomplishments. Before you are old, attend as many funerals as you can bear and listen. Nobody talks about the departed's achievements. The only thing people will remember is what kind of person while you were achieving. Time is what we want most, but what we use worst. As long as a word remains unspoken, you are its master. Once you utter it, you are its slave. Life is not a matter of holding good cards, but of playing a poor hand well. A habit is not a need. The busier we are, the more acutely we feel that we live, the more conscious we are of life. Take the attitude of a student. Never be too big to ask questions, and never know too much to learn something new. You must not allow it to overstay. Fear limits most people throughout their lives and permeates through all of their decisions. Do your best to control it, overcome it, and revel when you defeat it. Little minds are tamed and subdued by misfortune, but great minds rise above it. The trick is to enjoy life. Don't wish away your days waiting for better ones ahead. Be brave and take risks. You don't have to have it all figured out to move forward. There are more things likely to frighten us than to crush us. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Nothing prevents happiness like the memory of happiness. You don't ever truly know another person unless you can take up residence in their head. You will never be privy to their true nature. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Your time is your most precious asset. Don't waste it. Your struggle is part of your story. Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Don't look back. You are not going that way. The right question is usually more important than the right answer. Be brave to stand for what you believe in, even if you stand alone. You attract what you are. You want to attract better. Become better. Anyone who keeps the ability to see beauty never grows old. Sometimes you can't see yourself clearly until you see yourself through the eyes of others. Life is a series of collisions with the future. It is not the sum of what we have been, but what we yearn to be. The things that will count are your health and your achievements. Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. Don't count the days, make the days count. The best things are yet to come. Your future needs you, your past doesn't. You may not realize it when it happens, but a kick in the teeth may be the best thing in the world for you. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. The more honest men are, the less they suspect others of dishonesty. Pain makes you stronger, tears make you braver, heartbreak makes you wiser, so thank the past for a better future. Life is a ticket to the greatest show on earth. If you are not willing to risk the usual, you will have to settle for ordinary. The oak fought the wind and was broken. The willow bent when it must and survived. If you're trying to break a habit, don't say, "This is the last time I'm doing it," to yourself. Instead, say, "This is the first time I'm not doing it." When you're driving through the darkness, you can only see as far as the headlights shine, but you can make the whole trip that way. To know your enemy, you must become your enemy. Change is never painful, only resistance to change is painful. Be like a tree and let the dead leaves drop. Life is only precious because it ends. It is not so much our friends' help that helps us as the confidence of their help. Waiting is painful, forgetting is painful, but not knowing which to do is the worst kind of suffering. Man's main task is to give birth to himself. In any given moment, we have two options: to step forward into growth or step back into safety. The only place success comes before work is in the dictionary. If you give up on your dreams, what's left? You don't notice your progress in life because you are always raising the bar. Others may walk it with you, but no one can walk it for you. You can have it all, just not all at once. Potential means you haven't done anything yet. You can't cross the ocean until you lose sight of the shore. If we suspect that a man is lying, we should pretend to believe him, for then he becomes bold and assured, lies more vigorously, and is unmasked. One of the fastest ways to improve your life is to simply do what you said you were going to do. Whoever fights can lose. Whoever doesn't fight has already lost. Anyone you love can die any time. Cherish them. You can't reach what's in front of you until you let go of what's behind you. Sometimes we're tested not to show our weaknesses, but to discover our strengths. If you hate starting over, stop quitting. The secret to change is to focus all your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. The moment when you feel like giving up is the moment you need to push harder. Only time can heal what reason cannot. It's the little details that are vital. Little things make big things happen. If you wait for something, all that happens is that you get older. Make it your friend and a lie, not your enemy. People don't forget. Nothing gets forgiven. Fairy tales are more than true, not because they tell us that dragons exist, but because they tell us that dragons can be beaten. Conquer yourself rather than the world. Be kind to people without allowing them to take advantage of your good nature. Life can only be understood backward, but it must be lived forwards. Your talent determines what you can do. Your motivation determines how much you are willing to do. Your attitude determines how well you do it. Don't tell your friends that you're happy. Don't make them angry. Don't tell your enemies that you're unhappy. don't make them happy. Sometimes being alone is the best medicine to your soul. Success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Without rain, nothing grows. Learn to embrace the storm in your life. Being kind to yourself is the best medicine. Who dares nothing needs hope for nothing. You must allow it to teach you. You alone are enough. You have nothing to prove to anyone. People treating you poorly is a reflection on them, not you. Do not let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. When you get a different vantage point, it changes your perspective. It allows us to see things that maybe we should have seen a long time ago. If you think you were too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. The great use of life is to spend it for something that will outlast it. If you don't ask, you don't get. Your self-respect has to be stronger than your feelings. The bee doesn't waste its time trying to convince the fly that honey is better and nothing in life that is worth having comes easy. Writing down is the best way to remember. Pause this video and comment below your favorite quotes. Celebrate small victories and milestones because they pave the way for bigger achievements. Prayers do not change the world, but prayers change people, and people change the world. It always seems impossible until it's done. This will miraculously transform your whole life. Act without expectation. Fairy tales are more than true, not because they tell us that dragons exist, but because they tell us that dragons can be beaten. Never hurt others to heal yourself. Adversity is like a strong wind. It tears away from us all, but the things that cannot be torn so that we see ourselves as we really are. You beat 1,000,000,000 odds by being here. Be grateful for the little things in life that others take for granted. Problems are solved not by giving new information, but by arranging what we have known for long. You might be the sweetest peach on the tree, but some people just don't like peaches. I used to hate my grandfather when I was a child, as he constantly tried to teach me boring lessons about how to live life, distracting me from carefree games. The regret of putting first those who don't put you first makes your life painful. Turn your wounds into wisdom. You desire to know the art of living. My friend, it is contained in one phrase. Make use of suffering. Believe in yourself and all that you are. You have to accept whatever comes, and the only important thing is that you meet it with the best you have to give. The meaning of life is to give life meaning. The trouble is if you don't risk anything, you risk more. Only he who controls himself is free. Don't hold your breath on people doing the right or ethical thing. Hard times may have held you down, but they will not last forever. When all is said and done, you will be increased. Don't call it a dream, call it a plan. Eventually all things fall into place. Until then, laugh at the confusion, live for the moments, and know everything happens for a reason. Give a person everything that he desires, and at the same moment, he will feel that this is not everything. If your dreams do not scare you, they are not big enough. Be alone sometimes. It is important for your mind and well-being. No evil propensity of the human heart is so powerful that it may not be subdued by discipline. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. The human capacity for burden is like bamboo, far more flexible than you'd ever believe at first glance. Prepare for each moment to be a learning moment. Have enough courage to start and enough heart to finish. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Efforts never go in vain. In the end, you'll be much happier. When you drink, you're borrowing happiness from tomorrow. Life is not a matter of holding good cards, but of playing a poor hand well. Be careful the stories you're telling yourself about your current circumstances. The bad phase of your life can start at any time. Not mistreat or dump on others. Action is 10 times more valuable than reading and planning. The more you know, the dumber you sound to stupid people. If you're going to apologize, don't say but after. Either you mean it or you don't. The real man smiles in trouble, gathers strength from distress, and grows brave by reflection. Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it. Don't wait for something good to happen. Realize that there are no participation trophies in life. Go out and do something for yourself. Success comes from action. To lead people, follow. Have patience. All things are difficult before they become easy. Happiness is the only thing that doubles when you share it. Thinking is difficult. That's why most people judge. Challenges are gifts that force us to search for a new center of gravity. Don't fight them, just find a new way to stand. He will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight. Any thought you have about the future is a delusion. Fake love is mighty convincing in a world where real love is mighty rare. If you believe it will work out, you'll see opportunity. If you believe it won't, you will see obstacles. Clocks show time, and time shows people. Freedom is what we do with what is done to us. Action breeds more clarity than thought, so you can't think your way into a new life. You have to act your way into one. The art of being wise is knowing what to overlook. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anyone else. It's not worth killing yourself over a company that'll replace you in 2 days if you're gone. One can always be kind to people about whom one cares nothing. Despite everything, it's still you. Don't spend time beating on a wall, hoping to transform it into a door. Winners have lost more times than the losers have tried. You can't really control someone's loyalty towards you. A confident person avoids the things in life, idle gossip and petty conflicts, choosing instead to cultivate understanding and foster harmony. Not everyone is meant to be in your future. Some people are just passing through to teach you lessons in life. Never take anything personally. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality. Don't give up on yourself. There's a reason why you started. If you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one. Accept responsibility for your life. Know that it is you who will get you where you want to go, no one else. The person with big dreams is more powerful than the one with all the facts. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. People make decisions based on self-interest, not on what is right. How much you can learn when you fail determines how far you will go into achieving your goals. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the great accomplishment. The pain you've been feeling can't compare to the joy that is coming. Control your thoughts, or your thoughts will control you. No matter how hard you work to bring yourself up, there's someone out there working just as hard to put you down. Time passes slowly when you follow it. It senses being followed. Of all sad words of tongue or pen, the saddest are these: it might have been. Do what is right, not what is easy. Forget trying to change people. Letting go is very hard, but it's the best thing to do. The real question of life after death isn't whether or not it exists, but even if it does, what problem does this really solve? Don't tell your friend what your enemy shouldn't know. People make decisions based on self-interests, not on what is right. Be prepared to change your ideas about who you want to be. This is an important feedback loop as you gain life experience. Not mistreat or dump on others. If you find a path with no obstacles, it probably doesn't lead anywhere. Never lose hope. Storms make people stronger and never last forever. People have to do a lot of stupid things to figure out what they really want. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. There is no way to peace. Peace is the way. Just improve yourself. That is the only thing you can do to better the world. Seek first to understand and to be understood. Resentment is like taking poison and waiting for the other person to die. You take your life in your own hands, and what happens? A terrible thing. No one to blame. Your talent determines what you can do. Your motivation determines how much you are willing to do. Your attitude determines how well you do it. Opportunities can become obstacles the same way obstacles can become opportunities. It all depends on how they are being interpreted by the mind of a person. Trust is built over the life of a relationship, but can be lost in an instant if you're not careful. Never expect someone to catch you when you fall, even if you have caught many from falling. Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed. Be teachable, you're not always right. What's said or done in anger is irreversible. Accept what you can't change. Change what you can't accept. I don't feel that it is necessary to know exactly what I am. The main interest in life and work is to become someone else that you were not in the beginning. You may not realize this, but the people you love are your biggest weaknesses. You are lonely not because no one needs you, but because you care about who's next to you. Never trust anybody. Trust is earned, not given from the start. The size of your dreams must always exceed your current capacity to achieve them. Sometimes just carrying on is a superhuman achievement. Just because a thought got your attention doesn't mean it deserves your attention. I never change, I simply become more myself. It's not the load that keeps you down, it's how you carry it. Most of the time, you have to swallow the pain and learn to grow up by yourself. If you want to achieve greatness, stop asking permission. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom.